In today's video, we're going to talk about Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. So Netflix dropped a trailer earlier this week on Tuesday. So, what is freaking good YouTube boys here? If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, Kaiju, Monsterverse, Marvel, DC, pop culture based content that I cover on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know, are you really hyped for Rebel Moon? Also, check us out on x.com, aka Twitter, WarStewG, and also check us out on Instagram, at WarStew, to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. So, let's break it down. So, I was kindly invited to a special advance preview of Rebel Moon this past Tuesday. Posted an image on the social media, on the Instagram, with Mr. Zack Snyder himself, courtesy of Netflix UK for the invitation. A very well ran event. So what happened at this event is I got to see a few extended scenes from the actual movie, but I'm not really allowed to talk about them at the moment. But what I can say is, from what I've seen in these exclusive footage from the movie, damn, this trailer does not do it justice. And also, we got to see a slightly different, we got to see the hard R-rated trailer that was not the same trailer that they dropped later that evening. So at this event, it was pretty cool. They had Deborah Snyder there. They had Zack Snyder there. Deborah Snyder was the producer. Zack was the director. He did a Q&A. They actually had the costumes on display for the priest, for Cora, for literally everyone. Well, the main characters of the movie. There's pretty much 5 or 6 main characters for this movie, but it's really a franchise, as we've got part 1 and part 2 confirmed. There's also a video game being made that was revealed at Gamescom as well on Tuesday night, but that was kind of obvious. But respectfully, based on the studio who's making it, I don't think it's going to be a next generation game on the PlayStation 5, sadly. So I've waited a few days to see what people were thinking about Rebel Moon, and I find it fascinating because everyone's like saying, oh, it's a cheaper Star Wars. It's like, have you seen the trailer? Did you see the cinematography? Did you see the cinematic? This is not a cheaper Star Wars. For one, I can't actually find the exact number of how much the production value is, but they shot part 1 and part 2 back to back. The trailer is actually for part 1 and part 2. A lot of people don't understand this because I don't know if it's public knowledge, but Zack did say this during the Q&A. The trailer is for part 1 and part 2. So the trailer's actually showing you a hell of a lot more than what you actually think. So reportedly the budget was $80 to $90 million. Yet if you look at the cinematography, if you look at the characters, if you look at the fights, if you look at the light, okay, let's call them lightsabers because Zack just makes them look cooler than Star Wars. You look at the spaceships, look, there's explosions. Of course, there's going to be CGI. This is the most sci-fi movie we've ever seen. So there is obviously some people, some haters going, yo, this is a cheap Star Wars. Disney should sue and stuff like that, which is ridiculous because Zack literally has had this idea for 20 years. He pitched the idea and he actually broke it down. It was originally going to be a Star Wars based story, but they've changed the original idea and made it into its own brand new universe with its brand new lore about each planet and about each species and about the plot and everything. And that is why you've probably not actually seen anyone on YouTube respectfully do a very good breakdown, because outside of the first trailer and the bits of information that Zack Snyder said here and there, nobody knows anything. And I think it's a pretty cool thing if people are comparing it to Star Wars, because before Disney took over Lucasfilm, essentially, Star Wars was fire until we got all this new stuff. So even Zack says it himself. It's like Star Wars, but with violence, sex, and swearing. It's insane. I don't understand how anyone who is a pop culture fan of sci-fi or is a fan of this kind of stuff can watch the trailer and be like, yo, that sucks. Because most of the people that are criticizing this movie or this franchise, if you look at their work, it's like, respectfully, your work didn't really look great. Oh, you don't even have any work. So I get it. You can critique stuff, but to say some of the CGI is off, it's like, really, for starters, it's August. The movie does not come out to December. even though the trailer will be finished. Okay, I know the trailer isn't finished scenes because I've seen some of these scenes in actual play. And to think that the trailer is going to be a representation of the final product is ludicrous. It's Netflix. Netflix never promote anything. Netflix would drop a new show, spend millions of dollars on it, and just drop it with no marketing. The fact that Netflix flew Zack and his team out to the UK to do a press event, flew him to Germany to promote it. Netflix are putting a lot of money into the marketing for this movie because it's a franchise. So I'm really looking forward to what is coming for Rebel Moon, because although we were told a lot of details about Rebel Moon, realistically, could I do a trailer breakdown? Sure, we know the general story, we know the general plot, but my general views are, I think it looks better than Star Wars. The new Star Wars. I'm not on about the old Star Wars, but you shouldn't really compare. But in the 21st century, people are going to compare things to things. So I think it looks pretty amazing. Now, I know what some people have already said to me. Oh, Netflix only invited you because you're a Zack Snyder fanboy. I don't know why they invited me, to be honest, but it's pretty cool that they did. But I think it looks pretty badass. From what I can say, without ruining stuff, is so savage. This movie is going to be so savage. There is an R-rated version. And yes, Netflix wanted the R-rated version, the extended cut, if you like. Zack's known for it, which is even more savage. And they haven't actually got an official release date for when that's going to come. So you're going to get part 1 and part 2, and then you're going to get an extended cut, which will be more savage for part 1 and part 2. From based on what they said from the Q&A that we had on Tuesday, I don't think that's going to come out with the actual release. And I see a lot of people talking about a theatrical release. I really hope there will be a theatrical release from speaking to someone on Netflix. At the moment, there's no plans for that, but I think they could actually make their money back off the production value for this movie just by doing an actual release. So Zack Snyder, as the time recording this video, it is Thursday morning. 20,000 people on X.com and Twitter are talking about it. Zack builds social media hype, which people always go, yeah, but social media hype doesn't buy into people putting their money where their mouth is. Well, there's over 100 million people with Netflix accounts, so they don't actually have to spend their money. They just have to click on Netflix, and most people have a Netflix account. So I can see this being a huge, massive franchise in the future, just like the Warhammer series of movies. Whatever Henry Cavill's doing in Warhammer, I think that's going to be huge. I think there is a lot of moving spaces in the space of pop culture. It doesn't have to just be Marvel, DC, Star Wars. We can have these other new IPs coming through. Like the Monsterverse is becoming a huge IP now. And I think Rebel Moon could be huge. Warhammer could be huge. It can't just be Star Wars, Disney, DC, although DC's actually losing so much money that can we even call it like a popular franchise? I don't think DC's popular at the moment. I think it's tarnished. It's ruined. Bury it. No, don't really bury it. Just bring it back. Hopefully James Gunn and co can do something with it. Not looking very likely. So Rebel Moon looks pretty cool. Check the trailer out. I haven't really done a trailer breakdown. This is just my general thoughts of what I think. Yes, I did attend an event. This is not a sponsored or paid video. This is just my general thought. I think it looks badass. From the actual scenes I've seen from the movie, it looks so freaking savage. And that was the PG-13, the actual general release one, not the R-rated one. It looks freaking savage. This movie's going to be really, really deep. It's not just going to be, surface level. There is going to be a hell of a lot of storytelling. From what Zack said, there is so much in this movie that's going to be insane. You've seen it in the trailer yourself. So like always, guys, let us know down below. What is your general perception? What do you think of the trailer? What do you think of the promotional stuff that's going around? What do you think of Zack saying, it's like Star Wars with violence and sex and swearing? It's pretty cool. And that's how Zack apparently described it. I didn't hear him say that with his own words, but that's the quote going around. And to be fair, Star Wars fans are more hyped for this. Based on social media engagements, that's the only way you can track the metric. Netflix clearly put a trailer out because they wanted to see how much hype there was. Over 11 million views on their YouTube video at the moment. That's just from the Netflix one. That's not counting people that re-upload them. Freaking scumbags, if you ask me. But yeah, if the Star Wars fans are hyped about a new IP that kind of looks like Star Wars, it was originally supposed to be a Star Wars story, but as Deborah and Snyder explained at this event, they changed so much. It's not the original movie they pitched to Lucasfilms at the time. Zack's been working on this, in theory, for over 20 years. I think the villain looks insane. I think the The priest looks insane. I think Charlie Hunnam's character. I think the castings for this movie, none of them are specifically huge names, I guess you can say. Anthony Hopkins, who voices Jimmy. Jimmy's pretty cool from what we can see. I'm not allowed to say too much, but I think the Jimmy character will be a fan favorite. From what Zack was saying, Cora is a perfect casting. He actually went on to say she does every single stunt. And Zack said, people know this about Zack. Zack always tries to get his actors to do all their own stunts. Obviously, some stunts can't be done because it's too dangerous. And if there was an accident, it would hold the production back. But he literally said there was only one scene that Cora didn't do herself. And she's a absolute freaking savage, like you can see in the trailer. But when you get to see the real movie, there is one scene in this movie that is so freaking nuts. I hope Netflix do release it on a big screen because we got to see the trailer on the big screen. We got to see these special exclusive clips from the movie on the big screen. There's music, the picture quality. It looks so much better on the big screen. So please, Netflix, if you watch my videos, I know you don't, but somehow you invite me to events, so maybe you do. Please release it for at least a week in the theaters because it will make money. So like always, guys, we will be covering Rebel Moon up until the release of the movie. I don't know how I'm going to tackle it yet, but if you want me to do any other videos, if you really want me to do a trailer breakdown, let me know. I don't really see the point of breaking the trailer down because I don't know enough about the lore. Because it's a new IP, I don't know enough about Rebel Moon myself other than what I learned at the Rebel Moon event on Tuesday and from the trailer. So I just thought I'd put a general perception out there. It's like Star Wars, but freaking better. So like always, guys, check it out. It's still great about WhooshG. See the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WhooshG, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.